Welcome to the Tempo Storm Meta Snapshot Breakdown. After the nerfs to the Druid class, Hunter had taken control of the top tier of the Meta Snapshot, and Rexxar and Illyria show no signs of slowing down anytime soon. The real question to ask in this meta is, what can I do in my Hunter matchups to gain an edge? Or, what deck should I play to give me the best chance against the Hunter menace? With these questions in mind, let's get into this week's Meta Snapshot Breakdown. Subject 9 Hunter jumps from number 4 to the very top of tier 1 this week. This deck has seen a rise in popularity due to its favorable matchups in the Hunter mirrors, as well as including all the best parts of Hunter's cards from Rastakhan's Rumble. The latest expansion powered up this deck significantly, and if you're looking for a way to play the best Hunter cards while consistently beating other Hunters, look no further. Death Rattle Hunter remains the number 2 spot in tier 1 this week. Despite the meta shifting to be better against Hunter, the sheer power of the deck and streamlining of popular lists makes this a hard deck to fight against. This deck still sports some of the best possible openings in Standard with cards like Prince Keliseth, Devilsaur Egg, Play Dead, and Terrascale Stalker. On top of this early game potential, it has some of the best late turn threats in the game right now with Katharina Winterwisp and her beasts, as well as Deathstalker Rexxar himself. While this archetype may not be the number 1 flavor of the week, it's a tried and true, battle-tested build that is sure to take players far on the ladder. Masters Call Hunter is a newer deck, but you shouldn't pass up on giving it a try. This archetype has risen from the middle of tier 2 all the way to tier 1 off the back of an all-beast focused deck that abuses Masters Call. This archetype can have some aggressive starts, can close out games with Kill Command, and has one of the best immediate refill tools Hunter has ever had access to that helps it grind out longer games. If you're looking for an aggressive Hunter build with a more straightforward approach, then this is the build for you. Even Paladin is still nestled in tier 1, as it is the premium proactive Paladin archetype that sports a positive win rate against most decks in Standard. The archetype is very refined at this point and is unlikely to change anytime soon, with many players like Papa Jason taking this archetype to high ranks. It maintains a unique spot in the meta with favorable matchups against Odd Rogue, the occasional combo deck, and most Hunter decks. These win percentages against Hunter are slight, but skew in the even Paladin's favor the more aggressively Hunter decks are built. Watch out for even Shaman and Odd Warrior though when queuing for this deck. Against those decks, even Paladin still runs out of steam. Traditional Odd Warrior and Odd Quest Warrior have found their way back into tier 1 once again this week. Odd Warrior is the premium anti-aggro deck of the format, but it can find its way into trouble when faced against greedier control decks. Fighting down to fatigue can backfire when playing Odd Warrior if the list you're running is less greedy than your opponent's. This is why we've seen a rise in Odd Quest Warrior, because it still sports the same great anti-aggro tool that classic Odd Warrior has access to, but also has the ability to close out games much more quickly due to the sulfurous quest reward. Spell Hunter falls down to number 7 in tier 1 this week, but remains in the top tier due to the sheer strength of Hunter's tools. The issue with Spell Hunter in this meta is that many players are opting into quicker, minion-based Hunter builds that can pressure Spell Hunter down. While still a very solid deck, Spell Hunter would benefit from the format slowing down a bit, as To My Side, Deathstalker Rexxar, Rockdalar, and Zul'jin all thrive in slower matchups. Resurrect OTK Priest, also known as Cloning Gallery Priest, has risen from the bottom of tier 2 to the bottom of tier 1 this week. This deck is very flexible in what tech choices it can play, and it thrives in an environment where Hunter players are relying on secrets and spellstones to win games. The deck usually doesn't care about triggering secrets, and the recent addition of Mass Hysteria to the archetype has made this deck a powerhouse against most Hunter decks. The ability to one-turn kill players from 30 and above makes this deck a potent threat on ladder. The number 1 biggest mover this week, to many players' surprise, is Odd Paladin. The rumors of Odd Paladin's death after the loss of Level Up seem to have been greatly exaggerated. While the archetype has had to scrape the bottom of the barrel for playable cards to replace Level Up, Frostwolf Warlord, the sheer power and consistency of the upgraded hero power continues to carry this deck to the top of the ladder, and near the top of tier 2 in our Hearthstone Meta Snapshot. Even Warlock is another big mover this week despite dropping out of tier. This is due mostly to the rise of Control and Resurrect OTK Priest archetypes. Both of these Priest decks have the ability to manage even Warlock's board and close out games with Mind Blast damage, which Warlock struggles to fight against. That being said, it's still one of the few decks on the ladder to find favorable matchups against all the other Hunter decks except for Odd Paladin and even Shaman. The only exception is Death Rattle Hunter, whose value-oriented game plan is also enough to keep even Warlock at bay. The meta is currently revolving around this Hunter archetype and others due to their power and popularity. If you're looking to get an edge on ladder, you'll need to come equipped to battle the Hunter Scourge. In conclusion, when you queue up on ladder, you have to be prepared to fight against Hunter or find yourself quickly overwhelmed by beasts, damage, and infinite value. OTK Priest and Odd Paladin seem to be the knights in shining armor that non-Hunter players have been looking for due to one's sheer damage potential and the other's board building power. These two decks are returning challengers that will also give you some of the best chances against Rexxar and company. Let us know in the comments what decks you'll expect to see more or less of in the coming weeks, or what decks you think we should have higher on our tier list. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of the Tempest Storm Meta Snapshot. Hope you have a great week. Happy laddering.